Hi, boys and girls. Earlier this week, you filled out a Venn diagram on Suki's kimono and the South American poncho. Today, you're going to use that diagram to write a compare and contrast essay. Remember, essay means paragraph. And writing your compare and contrast essay is going to be so easy because you've already done the work with your Venn diagram. You're going to write an introduction statement. You're going to tell how the first text is like the second text. So you're going to tell how the kimono is like the South American poncho. You are going to tell how it is different. So you're going to tell how the kimono is different than the South American poncho. And then you're going to write a conclusion statement. It is very much like the race writing method that you've done in class. Let's take a look. I am going to model how to write a compare and contrast essay, but I don't want to steal your ideas. I want to let you write it about Suki's kimono and the South American poncho. So I'm going to use two stories that we have already read, Prudy's Problem and Charlie McButton. And I am going to compare and contrast the two characters in that story. So first, if I'm going to do that, I need to fill out a Venn diagram, and I have over here, I'm going to write about Charlie. I described Charlie as impatient, and he wants a battery, and he tries to steal it from his sister's doll. However, Prudy's very patient. So I'm going to put that in this side of my Venn diagram, and she thinks long and hard about what to do about her collection and eventually decides to build a museum, which also takes time. So that is how those two characters were different. Also, Charlie is kind at the end to his sister and realized that maybe he should do other things besides play video games. He kind of had this idea like, maybe I was wrong and I should change. However, Prudy, she knows her collection's out of control, but she doesn't really see it as a problem. She doesn't see her collection as a problem. She just thinks she needs more storage, right? She looked at it a little bit differently. However, they both have an obsession with things. Prudy likes stuff, and Charlie likes electronics. So I'm going to take this Venn diagram and I'm going to use it to make an essay or write an essay about the two characters, Charlie and Prudy. So let's begin. I need to write an introduction. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I need to think I want to tell how Prudy and Charlie are alike, and I want to tell how they are different. So I'm going to start with the main characters from the stories Prudy's Problem and Charlie McButton Lost Power are alike and different in many ways. Tells my readers exactly what I'm writing about. I'm writing about the main characters and how they are alike and different. All right, so let's begin with our details. Our lettuce, tomato, hamburger in our paragraph. I need to add text evidence now. So here I have the main characters from the story. Prudy's Problem and Charlie McButton Lost Power are alike and different in many ways. And now I need to add my details. And I'm going to add evidence. So my first sentence here with the details, Charlie is impatient and wants a battery. I got that right from my Venn diagram. So that's my opinion about Charlie, that he's impatient. There's my characterization word. And now I'm going to add text evidence. He tries to steal his sister's battery from the doll. Unlike Charlie, so now I'm using the word unlike as a transition word because now I'm going to talk about Prudy and how she's different. Unlike Charlie, Prudy is very patient. Here's my opinion about Prudy. Here's my text evidence. When her collections burst, she takes a few days to think about a solution. She builds a museum to solve her problem. Charlie and Prudy are also different because Charlie eventually realizes he may need to change his actions. He knows he should do other things besides play video games. More text evidence. Prudy just thinks she needs more space for her stuff. All right, so I used that Venn diagram and I talked about how Charlie is impatient, how Prudy is very patient, how Charlie eventually realizes he has a problem, and how Prudy really just did not. All right, so notice here in blue I have my introduction. Then I also have some transition words like unlike are also different because this is me using those words to compare and contrast, all right? I'm telling how they are different. Here are all my details, my text evidence. So notice it's much more than one sentence. I added quite a bit in here. Now I'm going to move on, and I have, even though they are different, Prudy and Charlie are also alike. Because I have not talked yet about how they are alike. So I have to add about how they are alike. So let's go on. And at the end I add Prudy and Charlie are both obsessed with things. Prudy is obsessed with her collection and Charlie is obsessed with technology games. Now is that the end? Let's think about it here. I go up here, I have an introduction sentence. I have details and text evidence about how the two characters are different. I moved into how the two characters are alike, and I gave examples about her collection and technology games. So there's my text evidence. What else do I need? Exactly, I need a conclusion. So let's take a look. So even though the characters are very different, they are the same too because they each have something they really like more than anything. So let's take a look here. I have an introduction sentence. I have a conclusion sentence. I have words that give the reader clues that things are alike and different. I use unlike. They are also different because, and even though they are different, Prudy and Charlie are also alike. I have text evidence supporting how they are different. I have text evidence supporting how they are alike. Now it's your turn. Use your Venn diagram from earlier this week to compare and contrast Suki's kimono and the South American poncho. Think about Suki's kimono and what text details you found in that story, and think about the South American poncho and the text details that you found in that story. And there you go, boys and girls. That is what you are doing today. I should see a paragraph about how the kimono and the South American poncho are alike and different.